This is Markus Rimmel, host of the DigitalituM Podcast. We talk in here at the intersection of manufacturing and digital transformation. My guest today is Alexander Knapp from Stuttgart, Germany. Welcome to the DigitalituM Podcast.
Hi, Markus. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. So let's dive right into it and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. I'm Alex, and since 10 years I work with assembly instructions, which is kind of odd, but becomes a passion. And yeah, that's actually also what assembly is all about.
So that's where you founded actually your own company around the topic of assembly, and the company's name is Assemblio, right?
Exactly. Assembly is the clear focus, and we in the team we figured out what name could be the perfect name for an assembly company, and we're all Harry Potter fans, so what spell would Harry Potter use to assemble something? And it would be Assemblio, so Assemblio it is.
Great. And how did you get into that? What area did you study? In what areas did you work before, which then led you actually to found your own company? Can you tell us a little bit about that? What was before Assemblio?
Since I'm a small kid, mechanics was always my passion, for motorcycles, for my cars, always a huge passion. So I studied, of course, mechanical engineering, and even in my internship I was at Mercedes-AMG. I could look up how to assemble cars, how to plan the manufacture of cars. It's insane. They have like photo cars, and they told me, Alex, here is a toolbox, here is a camera, now help the mechanics to disassemble the car, make photos out of it. And that was the first assembly instruction, which is quite insane. After Mercedes-AMG, I joined Adient, which is Recaro, old German brand for car seats. And yeah, I started at Recaro. They gave me 4 weeks of training of CAD. So my first 4 weeks was just every day, 8 hours a day, learning, training of CATIA. And then I was ready. Now I'm finished. I finalized my studies. I'm now a CAD engineer, and they told me, now you have to help us by making the assembly planning. And I said, great, how do we start? Here is a CAD model, it's nearly finished. Now make a screenshot of every single process, assembly process, and here we are going to define the assembly instruction. And that was kind of annoying. It was really annoying. It took me 3 months to plan the assembly for a single car seat, and in the end it was an assembly instruction of 800 pages, which is a lot. It's really annoying, and the annoying thing about that is it changes constantly. I had to redo it every week because you have to define every assembly step very precise. How to assemble, which tools are required, do I need grease, what's my quality criteria, and so on. You have to be really, really precise to define the assembly of a complex product. And yeah, it took me 3 months to plan the assembly with screenshots out of CAD, which is really tough.
And then whenever comes a change in of the CAD model, then you have to redo certain parts again and again, which is very time consuming.
Yeah, I remember the night my boss told me, on Friday there will be BMW, and BMW want to see the full documentation, we will discuss everything. And I told my boss, hey, Martin, there are some crash tests running right now and over the weekend. So on Monday I will get the new results. So why should I finish it till Friday? On Monday I have to redo everything. Yeah, but that's BMW. We have to do it. So I did the instruction. I updated everything in 2 days. BMW was okay with the instruction. On a Monday I had to do everything again and up to 10 o'clock, and I told myself, okay, I quit. That's so annoying. That's not why I have such an expensive degree of mechanical engineering. And I went to Fraunhofer. Fraunhofer is the world's biggest research institute, and I joined a team of Professor Dr. Bauernhansel, he's a really, really famous professor for automation science. And I applied for him, told him, hey, that's the problem. I really want to find a solution for assembly planning because Siemens, Bosch, Mercedes, BMW, Recaro all plan assembly instruction with screenshots and in Word files. I can change that. And he said, yes, go for it.
Wow, that sounds amazing. So then during your time at Fraunhofer, you came actually up with a solution how this is possible through technology. And then I understand after that, you then decided to bring that to the market in your own startup called Assemblio.
Yeah. It was even funnier, to be honest. I knew the problem, and I said to myself, okay, I'm going to find a solution. The problem is pretty old. And in the early days, he called that problem computer-aided assembly planning, CAAP. And I think the founder of CAAP published the idea in 1992, which is really, really old, nearly as old as me. And I said to myself, I'm going to do a PhD in exact that topic. I developed a so-called feature-based approach, which is an analyzation algorithm of 3D models. So a completely new way to analyze 3D models from CAD system to define and find assembly information from pretty stupid models to find intelligent so-called high-level features, assembly features to define the whole assembly sequence. And I published that and it was insane. So many people came to me, hey Alex, it's a completely new approach, a new algorithm to analyze that models. Even Porsche read that paper, called me and said, okay, we're really interested in your algorithm, we're really interested in your assembly planning system, we want to have it for our shop floor. I told them, it was 2019, hey guys, that's research is no product. I have to finalize everything.
So question for you, as there are all this big CAD systems on the market, AutoCAD and SolidWorks and CATIA. My first question is, haven't they had anything like that in their product portfolio already? And then second, when they figured out that you did there something, did they ask you to join forces with them, or was there no collaboration and that's why you then went your own way? How was that overall situation?
Yeah, of course, they're really interested. I mean, Siemens is already in contact with us, PTC is in contact with us, Dassault is in contact with us. Suddenly we figured out that Dassault, the assembly department, is even just 10 kilometers from us. So yes, of course, they're really interested. And yes, they made some plugins, for instance, CATIA or SolidWorks have the SolidWorks Composer, for instance. But it's a very different tool. 3D is for designing things. It's made of constraints, not out of assembly features. It's a really, really different typology of elements, of the entities. It's like comparing a Formula One car with a beach buggy. Yes, both have four wheels, both drive forward, but it's completely different technology. So yes, CAD had in the past some products, but the market didn't accept them because that was not enough. That was really not enough. But ERP companies, for example, for instance, SAP had like 4 products to define things what Assemblio is doing now, but they never finished it. So SAP is also really close to us. One of them told us, hey, Assemblio makes sense because I am in the team that tried to develop that and we failed, so I know how hard it is. And it was amazing. He immediately understood the complexity behind assembly planning, how everything should be in 3D, and it was amazing. It was an honor, to be honest.
My understanding of the Assemblio platform or the Assembly app is that on one side, you feed in a 3D CAD model, often assembly, some type of device, an engine, a transmission, whatever. And then on the other hand, as an output, you get a step-by-step work instruction, which is done on a level that an assembly worker actually understands it, and that you do not need a rocket science degree to understand that assembly instruction or work instruction, however you want to call it. Do I understand that right? And can you tell us a little bit more what is happening in between?
Witchcraft, witchcraft, and AI. Exactly. So yeah, the output of the development is always a CAD model. So just a single CAD model. We read in the CAD model, a system is analyzing the model, how to assemble it, from which direction. It analyzes so-called topological, geometrical features. So the smallest entities of 3D models and extracts out of it, of course, assembly features. Yeah, that's the first step. And then,
quick question on that. Does it need to be in a specific format, like the universal step format, or do you go with the native file straight out of SolidWorks, CATIA, AutoCAD? Is there any difference, or you take it all?
We take it all. We take it all. Because yes, you can use JT files, step files, you can use native files. We really don't care because the system, the AI is analyzing every single file. We don't relate to the human engineering constraints, so we define everything by ourselves, so we don't mind. Every file is fine. And yeah, then you have your 3D model in Assemblio and you can plan your assembly. Guided, and right now we made several studies. If you have a really easy assembly a product like 15 parts, we're just 92% faster, but we have several customers, of course, with bigger products. Usually, for instance, 800 to 1000 parts. It takes the humans 2 to 3 weeks to plan the assembly. With Assemblio, they do it right now in 3 hours. We had a customer that told me, yeah, we do, it took me 3 weeks for one assembly. Now I do 2 assemblies in 3 hours, so 6 hours in summary. And that's amazing. So we're in that case even 98 to 99% faster than before, which is amazing. That the company are really happy. Now they have clear designs, clear instructions, everything is very detailed. And yes, exactly. It's easy to understand because it's very precise, it's very consistent. If you have to do assembly like me in the night, you do it very fast. Yeah, the human will understand it. It's very easy. Let's do 2 pictures less and so on. So the person that reads the instruction needs to be an expert to understand them. But with that, it's a step-by-step IKEA instruction. Everyone can understand it. That's so easy. And of course, yeah, we extract a PDF file or a Word file because a lot of old companies wants to have those files because they already have it, had it. And there's even a law in Germany. It says it's mandatory to have those instructions. And there is a change of law since 5 or 6 months. So now you don't have to print those instructions out anymore. PDF is fine. So. Yeah, that law is also called the IKEA law in our German civil code. But we can also extract videos because a video is much easier to understand fully automatically. I mean, when you have to assemble something, do you look in the manual or do you look up in YouTube how to assemble it? It's much easier for your human brain.
There's that saying, a picture says more than 1,000 words. And specifically to explain a complex technical topic in text and in language is actually super complicated. And then when you put in different languages, then it's even more complicated. As within German, my understanding was always you can call a technical things 10 different ways. And therefore, you also can translate it 10 different ways. And then on the other side, in the other language, like in English or Spanish or whatever, it's called 10 different things either. So that makes it super complicated. But if you just show it on a picture, or even better in a 3D animation, even complex things are pretty easy to explain.
Exactly. We made a huge study with Fraunhofer for exact that topic. We even tried it in a nursing home. So all people not up to date, we showed them an instruction, hey, I'll assemble it right now. And it was really complicated for them. Then we gave them several devices, a tablet application, VR, AR application. They tried it out. It's crazy how human brain comprehends things. So if you have a picture, it's very abstract. It's really hard to see, okay, that's a picture, that's the reality. There is a break in between. And it's much easier to see, okay, there is an animation, there is one shelf coming down, now it flips around, now it's assembled that way with 2 screws. It's so much easier to understand. And the funny thing is, a professor already told me, Dr. Niepi told me, why is it easier to read a comic than a book? And why is it easier to watch a movie than to read a comic book? Because that's the level of abstraction you have. That's how the human thinks. And so an animation, a visualization is always better than just a picture. And we can even fully automatically extract assembly information systems, like that's a tablet application, completely automatically generated in 3D. Everything is animated in 3D. You can zoom out, you can zoom in, you can make cuts, you can click on the next step, back. Everything is animated, very, very easy to understand. And the funny thing, my wife was always my test subject. And my wife is an amazing French teacher, but no mechanic at all. And I gave her the instruction, told her, darling, look it up and assemble now. I think it was an 8-cylinder a motor engine, an 8-cylinder engine, small sized. I gave her a tablet. It was really easy. She assembled everything. She planned everything. Designed everything. She even said, "Hey, there is the small thingy. What is that actually?" Sweetie, that's a gasket. But she suddenly planned gaskets and how they should be assembled and so on. And she made it perfect. With no mechanic knowledge at all, but she did it perfect.
Yeah, and that shows again the value of pictures and animations. Going back to your story initially, where you had to build an assembly for BMW, and then there were changes involved. How does this go now in Assemblio if you have changes on your original CAD model, which happens quite often, and all of a sudden your assembly instruction needs to be updated? Do you take another 5-10 hours, days to update it, or does it go ka-ching?
Yeah, for that we have a third AI. we call it a variant manager, very German. We even won for that AI the German AI Champions Award, I think it was called. The minister gave it to us. So what is the AI doing? You planned your assembly with around about 1,000 parts, and now something changes. You don't know what. Several things change, and you can tell the system, "Hey, Assemblio, here is the old instruction, and here is the new 3D one. I have no idea what's different." And the assembly will tell you, "Hey, Marcus, 1,000 parts has the whole assembly. 800 are still the same. 150 are pretty similar. Okay, there is a different housing, a different screw, a different gasket, a different thread on the screw, and so on." So the system won't be confused as we humans, and will show you the difference and extract all the information. And then it will tell you, "Hey, Marcus, but there are 50 elements I really don't recognize because they're new. Please tell me, where do you want to have them?" And you can tell the system, "Hey, Assemblio, put those 5 here," and it will plan everything completely automatically. That should be here, that should be here, that should be there. 5 minutes. And you updated the whole assembly, and you will even get an Excel sheet with every change, the different names. So big companies like Mercedes-Benz need those instructions, for instance, for the documentation.
That's amazing. As you name Mercedes-Benz, Assemblio is not a prototype anymore. You're selling these platforms to the industry. Can you tell us a couple of your clients and also a couple of applications? In what applications do they use it?
Oh, that's really, really different. Yes, we have a lot of automobile companies. They use it for parts, for components, for example, braking systems, truck axles, very, very different. So-called truck retarders, it's a braking system. So really different products. We have even robots, big machine, big modules assemblies. We even have a house company, an architecture company using Assemblio. They're building now a new house in Munich in Bavaria, and they use Assemblio to plan the whole assembly for a whole house, which is pretty amazing. Everything that has to be assembled needs an assembly plan, and we can help with that. So our customers are really, really different. Yeah.
So more or less it goes into a lot of different industries, from automotive to medical device to even house construction, in where this tool can be used in order to make this whole process faster and more efficient and get some extra value out.
Exactly. If you have to assemble something, you need a plan, and we can help with that. And I never in my past heard assembly was not as fast as state of the art. So I'm really happy about that.
That's quite amazing. If people are interested in that solution, how do they get to a demo?
Sure, we have a trial version. Reach out to us through our website, for instance. You can apply for a demo version. A demo version is always with a small training. It's a very small training, so you can make the best out of it. And in the future, there will be even a free trial version for everyone. So try it out, use it by yourself, and be 92 to 99% faster.
That's great, and we will put the link down in the show notes. Let's look a little bit into the future. AI can do a lot of different things, and it will further develop. What do you think is all possible in the near future with AI? What are current challenges we have, and how do they get solved?
Oh yeah, it's a huge topic. We're already in contact with several companies, even Google. Google has also, I cannot tell the project, but it's a huge thing also here in Munich, but with a lot of American teams, how to plan everything completely automatically. So from the 3D model, the whole assembly plan, to extract robot G-code to the manufacturing, to extract a whole OP system, so offline programming system. So robot code, assembly plans, the whole layout, the whole logistics completely automatically, just out of assembly, out of 3D models. Yeah, that's the big thing, and it's amazing. The next step is a project with Google and a robot company and Fraunhofer to plan the assembly, the robot assembly completely automatically out of Assemblio, to extract MTM time, so you even know the tech time, how to plan everything. The system in the future should tell you, okay, system, give me a scenario for that product with 2 humans and 3 robots. 3 robots and 1 human. 5 humans, 2 robots, and so on. It will give you the whole layout, how to assemble everything and what the tech time is. Yeah.
Wow. Now I'm literally blown away.
It's still research, and the people from Fraunhofer help us a lot with that, but I really believe it. Maybe not in 3 or 5 years, but I really think the computing time is increasing rapidly. The AI is becoming smarter and smarter. I really think in 10 years we really have those systems, and assembly should be a mandatory part of it.
And how do you see the acceptance of your product and overall the AI technology in the manufacturing industry? As in general, the industry is always a little bit more conservative on new things. At least that's my understanding. What feedback are you getting on that?
Yeah, they're very conservative, definitely, especially in Germany. But they call me, tell me, hey, that's a new system. I'm afraid of new systems. I go, yeah, you don't have to use it. Yeah, but we really need it because the products are becoming more and more complex. We don't have the experts that can plan the whole assembly. We don't have the experts that have to assemble those products. We don't have experts for the documentation. We really need your system. So stop complaining. You don't have to use it, but yes, I mean, what is the trend on the market? Products becoming more and more complex. You have more and more variants. Your lot size is decreasing since years. Then the next thing is assembly planning is human knowledge. So if you ask 10 people how to assemble a product, they will give you 12 answers. So it's very dependent from the human. And where are the experts? As I mentioned, I really hated that job because it was, the engineering thing is fun, but doing screenshots and the whole documentation is just annoying. So where do you find those people? And we have a huge lack of experienced people. So the trends are not really good for the company. So they need a solution for a flexible assembly.
I agree. And overall, taking or replacing work with automation, which is tedious, which is repetitive, which just takes a lot of time, but you don't need much efforts to it. That's always the potential for automation first. It's so-called the low-hanging fruits. And bringing a digital tool in like Assemblio, which really can help in that particular step to save a lot of hours and then use this time for something which add more value at another place. I think that's what it's all about. It's not about taking the job away of an assembly engineer. It is because there's too much work and not enough people, and making this whole process just more efficient. Do I see that right?
Yeah, exactly. It's the last percentage. We call that automating the automation, because you automate those stupid things like doing screenshots, adding annotation, adding text, translating text, putting everything in a Word file, designing the Word file. So the whole annoying thing. And the humans for the important stuff, the design, the quality, the definition of the whole assembly process. Like, you have a smart tool helping you to assemble everything, and automating the automation. So the human should be in the center of everything. There was an amazing scene of Iron Man, I think it was the first movie, where he picked a single spot of an assembly, made a gesture like that, and the whole thing exploded. Showed the human how to assemble everything for which direction, so the human can have a very fast overview about the assembly, about the product, about the components, about the constraints between those components. And that's how it should be. And smart, intelligent solution for a super smart human.
Yeah. Taking the right tool in order to get things done. I always say you have traditionally your regular toolbox with your pliers, your screwdrivers, and what you all need. This was good in the past, and you still need here and there some physical tools. But for the future, you have to have a good setup of digital tools as well. And again, for specific use cases and to solve specific problems. Like if you have any type of assembly, then you better look into how assembly can generate more value for you.
Exactly, absolutely, yeah.
And that's where we at DigitalituM come in place, as on one side we understand the problems in the industry due to our industry experience, and on the other side we're connected with cool startups like Assemblio, where we understand that value and can bring that together.
Thanks.
Have you done anything in the US market so far? Or are you focusing on the German and on the European market first?
Actually, we never even did a cold call in my whole entire life. Right now, there are enough companies calling us, and that's usually German companies, several from Austria or from Switzerland. Yes, we had some contacts with US companies, but just interested companies. The US is a big focus for us. Yes, we'll go to the US probably next year. Next year there will be a solution, even for American companies, US companies. but we need a bigger team. To be honest, I could serve much more companies if I had a bigger team, and that's our key focus: hiring. I never did a cold call in my life or any that company. Yeah,
that's cool. And yeah, the challenge of then growing and scaling up and finding the right people is another challenge. Does AI in some way can help you there as well?
Oh, I hope so. And HR AI, yes, that would be amazing, but still searching for that.
Maybe that needs to be a side product of you to develop that as well.
I keep in the area of assembly planning.
That's
the next
always better focus and improve what we have there. Yeah, Alex, thank you so much for sharing about the great things you guys do at Assemblio. As I mentioned, I put all the information down in the show notes. And happy assembly.
Thanks, happy assembly.